Welcome back to Desk Careers and Dubai English Speaking School. I am so excited. I know I say this every time, but I'm always really excited, even more excited today because I bring to our platform Bahaa from LinkedIn. He is the Customer Success Manager, and we're going to be talking about all things LinkedIn, desk careers, and how we can be enhancing our profiles to prepare us for the world of work in our future careers. Welcome, Bahaa. Welcome to our platform.
Thank you so much, Maria. Pleasure to be connecting with you.
It's really, really exciting to be here. Anyone watching this will say, oh, great. Now she's brought somebody from LinkedIn, because I'm always talking to our students about LinkedIn, about networking, and about really using this amazing platform to tap into future careers. So without getting into a long discussion all in this one interview, because I know we're going to have another interview and potentially even a live workshop with you, but really getting into what is your take on LinkedIn and high school students, and how do you believe LinkedIn can prepare them for the future careers they're aspiring to go into?
Yeah, thanks for this question. To be honest, it's something always on our mind from LinkedIn side, is how can we make sure that more parts of the society and the community are active and engaging on LinkedIn and benefiting from all the features and the possibilities that are on LinkedIn. Eventually, LinkedIn's vision is to make sure it's connecting the world together, especially the professional world. So as you all know, LinkedIn is a professional network. But one thing we also keep in mind is that students are like stepping into the professional world from early stages. So it starts with educating students on what is LinkedIn, how LinkedIn functions and how it operates, and then thinking together with students how can it benefit them from the first days they start considering and looking at the professional world. Things to keep in mind for any individual using LinkedIn, but especially graduating students, is that LinkedIn can be a learning platform. So once you go to LinkedIn, you can connect to all these professionals. This is a step one of you understanding how professionals think, what professionals are interested in, what professionals are talking about, their interests, their important topics, what kind of articles they're publishing on the professional network. And then this gives you some kind of an idea of what are you passionate about, what are you more interested in, and then it drives conversations with these different players on LinkedIn. And then other than professionals, you have a lot of companies. So if you want to understand more about how companies are interacting with future candidates, with other professionals, talking about important market topics. So you get to start to understanding more about industries, how they're doing, their updates, what they've been up to. And other than professionals and companies, eventually you can connect to a lot of schools. So if you are a high school student and you're in the process of considering maybe what university you're going to, one thing that is very helpful on LinkedIn is that you can find most universities, if not all, and you can look at their activities with students. You can look at kind of accomplishments that they have been doing. You can check their alumni. So every university has an alumni page as well. So you can start exploring where are these alumni going, what have they been up to, what are their achievements. And this will encourage you to learn more about this university. So I would say the most beneficial, in summary of what I just mentioned, the most important three aspects of LinkedIn for a student is connecting to professionals, learning more about companies, and learning more about universities.
Amazing. And just those three things alone, I can almost hear year 13 students saying, wow, I didn't realize I could learn so much. Talk to us a little bit about some of the things that you want to be remembering when you are working on that initial profile?
So we always say when you're creating a profile on LinkedIn, imagine yourself viewing your profile as a stranger. And what do you want to learn about this person? So when I'm creating my own profile, once I start going through the sections, I always try to focus on what do I want people to learn about me? Because this is an opportunity for every person to tell their story through their profile, or tell what they are passionate about, tell what they want to be perceived as, and so on. It always starts with the simple basic sections where you have a headline under your name which represents you. A lot of professionals, they use their job title as part of that headline, but we always in LinkedIn encourage people to not stick to their job title, because this is where you can reflect on yourself and tell, this is how I see myself and this is how I want the world to see me. So it's more of a statement, if you want, or a description of yourself in a phrase. And then you have your profile picture that tells a lot about you, because again, a lot of professionals sometimes use LinkedIn as a replacement for a resume or a CV, but LinkedIn is more than that. It's a place where you can use media as well, like a profile picture and media and other sections that we can talk about later, but to tell more about who you are as a person, to tell more about your story, your character, and so on. So always think about what kind of profile picture you want to use that can give the right perception of who you are or who you want to be perceived. And then you have the summary section where you can talk more about yourself. And this is an important part, because any person who's viewing your profile, before they start looking at what kind of a professional you are or what kind of a professional you want to be, the summary can describe who you are currently and how you see yourself. And this is important for any profile viewer. And then you have a lot of the sections that talk about your education, which is important for any student, obviously. Talks about any volunteer experiences you've done. It's very important for students and non-students, because it tells a bit about you as a professional or an aspiring professional outside the traditional curriculum, outside of the traditional job and education sections and so on. And then you have a very important section. I always highlight it whenever I'm talking to any professional, whether they are a student or in their mid-career, which is the recommendation section. So LinkedIn gives you this opportunity where you can ask someone to talk about you as well, not just you talking about yourself. That someone can be your mentor in life, in your professional life, in your personal life. It could be someone you worked with previously. It could be your previous professor, teacher, someone in the education world, someone who has a word on you, someone who has seen potential in you as a person, as a professional, and would like to highlight that on your profile. So it's a very simple step of you requesting a recommendation, and it will be automatically populated on your profile. And then you have the very basic sections of the languages you speak, the skills you have, and so on.
So great. What would you say are the top 3 benefits for an 18-year-old or 19-year-old using LinkedIn?
Number 1 is learning. So LinkedIn, other than the LinkedIn platform itself, as we mentioned in the previous minute, is that it connects you to the world, and this by itself gives you an opportunity to start learning more about the world, learning about professionals from professionals themselves. But it also connects you to a lot of mentors. There are a lot of people on LinkedIn, individuals and professionals on LinkedIn, who are happy to share their knowledge with others. So there is this kind of mentorship, and we've seen it happen a lot on the platform, where people connect to others because they are experienced in a specific skill or in a specific area or an industry or a function. And they ask them, would you be willing to mentor me during the next 3 months on this topic? And this has created a lot of amazing professional relationships, and I think students can benefit a lot from that. Beyond that, LinkedIn has a platform within LinkedIn called LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn Learning is this platform and digital educational platform where any professional, or it could be very helpful for students, I would imagine, can go to that platform and can search any topic and learn about it through a curriculum. So there are curriculums built there, and it can vary from very technical skills into very soft skills, and also would include a lot of entertaining skills. Like I know a lot of people who learned photography skills through a photography curriculum on LinkedIn Learning, or how to play guitar, for example, or public speaking, or being an active player in a team, and so on and so on. So there are a lot of important soft skills that you learn from everyday life, but LinkedIn has built curriculums to help you get started that can be complemented with you connecting to other professionals, learning from them, and so on.
That's brilliant. So learning.
So learning, number one, and I would say it's the number one that I always highlight to any person who's using LinkedIn. Number two is networking. So, which is the obvious answer of why people use LinkedIn, obviously. But networking for any purpose. I know a lot of people who network on with others, build a great network on LinkedIn, not for the purpose of finding a job. Sometimes it could be for any other kind of collaboration. You know, people who organized events together, who invited each other to speak at conferences, connected each other to eventually refer an ex-colleague to a job or something like that. So networking is a very obvious way of using LinkedIn, but a lot of people do not take that opportunity in the right way. And I really would love to highlight this to students, because once they start using LinkedIn, they need to think smartly of how do they want to network and how can this network benefit them in the future. Unfortunately, we do see a lot of cases on LinkedIn where people do not think about how they want to build their network, and they end up after 5 years of using LinkedIn with 10,000 connections that give them zero benefit and do not actually give them back in any way. And then they start thinking, what did I do wrong? How can I refix that? How can I start building my network from scratch? So if you start from early stages about thinking, why do you want to use LinkedIn, first of all? And who are the professionals out there, and the companies and the influencers and the mentors that can actually benefit me? And how can I find them? And how can I introduce myself to their world as well? So there are so many things to take into consideration, but once you start putting them in action, they're very simple steps. It starts with you building the right profile that speaks your true self, and then you finding the right people that can actually build the right purpose for you in your network, and then keeping this engagement with this group of people as regular as possible on regular basis, to make sure that your network does not eventually die.
Okay, and number three?
And number three, I would say also like enjoy the social media part of it. I work for LinkedIn, but even before working for LinkedIn, I've always used LinkedIn as a social media, where what differentiates it from other social media platforms is that it has a professional touch. So also enjoy that as it exists, because there's so much to do and engage with on topics, have conversations, ask questions, participate in conversations that already exist, read articles and object to them in a professional manner. So enjoy this kind of engagement on the network that could be really, really entertaining in a way, but at the same time, not in a useless way, entertaining, but in a meaningful way that gives you this confidence, that gives you this richness in the way you're enjoying these conversations. And it's simply about just being active on the network. So it's simply about like having the, let's say, application on your mobile and just opening it from time to time, just like you use other social media platforms, and see what conversations are happening on the network between professionals that you are connected to with other professionals who are not connected to you, and then just trying to get on this conversation. There are groups you can join that are built based on different topics that will help you also engage in so many conversations that you might be interested in. And eventually, this will help you build more interests in certain topics, especially if you are a student stepping into the professional world. It can really enlighten you and to really understand what kind of conversations am I interested in, what is my opinion on this topic, and what kind of opinions can I be open to in different topics, and so on.
Fantastic. Love it. So learning, networking, and staying social.
Yes, being
but
social.
Always in a very conscious and clear, mature, professional way using LinkedIn.
100%.
So wonderful. Thank you so much, Bahaa. This was a great taster insight into how we can be using LinkedIn if we are in high school or in college, as we say at Dubai English Speaking College. So a big thank you for giving us your time today. And anybody watching this, I'm convinced. I've been an avid user of LinkedIn, and I know I'm always promoting it at Desk Careers. But if you're watching this and thinking, what is LinkedIn? Join us at Desk Careers. We will introduce you to the platform. Get onto LinkedIn. www.linkedin.com is the website. And all you need to do is join. It's free, and you can do it, but do it carefully, because like Bahaa was just saying, remember, it's how do you want the world of work to be perceiving you on that profile. So that brings us to the end of this very first interview with LinkedIn. Keep watching if you're watching us here at Desk Careers, at the Desk Careers channel, because there is definitely more to come between Dubai English Speaking College, Desk Careers, and LinkedIn. And I'm really excited to see how this is going to evolve. I will see you all at our next spotlight. Thank you for watching, and have a great afternoon, everybody.